pavement to keep a little more exit speed as they flow into that triple right-hander of 16, 17, and 18.
Yeah, there's a lot of good runoff areas here. Some you might use to your advantage, and some you might just be thankful that's there at some point when you get moved out. Or
I think that's a great shot there, Vince. What it's like running down the front straightaway and then up to turn one. Looks like a roller coaster, doesn't it?
It is uphill the whole way. It's interesting because you can spot your brake marker from the exit at 20, 3/4 of a mile away, and it is a long run up there. The interesting aspect is that table, that plateau that we see at the top there. You're going to break into the hill really, really well, but as soon as you crest that hill, these trucks are going to get light. They're going to, and it's going to be just at the point where they're going to start bending the truck into the apex, and it's going to be very, very easy to light up that inside left front tire. Guys have another 4+ miles or 3.41 miles to go here to pit in, so you don't want a flat spot or damage a tire there because you've got a long way to go to pit in.
You know what I love, Vince? You talked about the runoff area, and Andy touched on it as well. Early in practice, you might miss your turn. You see a smoker there heading to the pit. That 12 Tate?
Yeah, Tate Fogleman.
Tate Fogleman with an issue. But you might see guys running offline or across the paint because they don't know where they're going real good. But then as they learn the track bits, they'll start figuring out where to go faster, to jump those curves and have more speed. So there's a transition there.
We saw the smoke from the 12 of Tate Fogleman, and evidently has possibly laid some fluid down on the course. So the caution has come out. They're going to do a track inspection, and we're going to come back. Camping World Truck Series practice from COTA.
I am aiming and battling to the finish. I am the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. I am NASCAR. Tomorrow. Pro Football.
But that's the important bit, isn't it? Showing up, saying, hello, fancy a nice...
Finish in the top 10. They're ready to do it again. It's a brand new truck. They didn't even get a whole lap in, and he said they were hitting the splitters. They figured now that the flag came out, they just brought it back in. They're checking everything over, taking some tape off. And the owner of this team, Brett Holmes himself, was running the jack here in the garage, the reigning champion in the ARCA Menards series. So this team is really excited about their opportunity here. Of course, Sam Mayer, he's run some high-performance race cars at this very racetrack, and he has some road course wins. So a little bit of strength above the rest of the competition here.
Yeah, he won at Bristol last year, and the kid doesn't even turn 18 till next month.
Mike, I mean, to win at Bristol, Vince, when you're a teenager, just any win at Bristol special. There's certain racetracks on this circuit where you want to get the job done. It just makes you feel good about your ability. And man, Sam busted on the scene, got that victory, and yeah, he's cool.
I mean, 17 years old, he's already won at Bristol. He's running in Coda. I mean,
there's a few guys that have come along. We've been really blessed, Andy, in the truck series. We get to see guys when they're right out of late models, just into the NASCAR Big League Series, and some of them do certain things right off the bat. Take a look at our point standings here, and Sam Mayer was certainly one of those.
Yeah, those three drivers highlighted in yellow are drivers with wins already this season. John Hunter, Ben Rhodes won the first two races of the year. Sheldon Creed won most recently at Darlington. And if you see that little crowd around position number 10, 10 drivers will make the playoffs. Carson Hocevar jumped back above the cutoff line in that 10th spot. And, you know, Austin Wayne Self right there in contention for career year for Austin in that regard.
And look at some of those trucks below that. I mean, we think certainly they're going to have an opportunity to get up there and be a part of the playoffs. It's going to get really crowded around that cutoff line, Ben.
Next weekend will be at Charlotte, and then kick off the month of June at Texas Motor Speedway, Nashville, trip back, and looking forward to going to Pocono, as always, at the end of June. And Knoxville, we're going to be on the dirt in Knoxville, Iowa. Watkins Glen, August 7th.
Go from Pocono, which is 2.5 mile super speedway, to dirt, then up to the road course. These boys better have their versatility gears in place.
There's a look at Sheldon Creed pulling away, and Creed, one of those drivers that has a road course win. And won, as mentioned, most recently at Darlington.
We talked about having practice then, but we only had...
You see the clock in the upper left-hand portion of the screen, 37 minutes remaining, and as Mike said, only 50 minutes to begin with, so that was some valuable time lost under the red flag.
I think we'll see these guys start pushing it straight away here, especially a few of the teams that didn't even get out for that outlap to kind of shake the cobwebs off. We've got some good drivers there that have just hit the track for their first time. And yeah, obviously with 37 minutes left, 36 now, they're going to start to feel that pressure a little bit to learn a brand new track.
Riding with Ben Rhodes, and now we understand there's a stalled truck on the front stretch, and that's going to bring the caution back out, and we're going to take another break as well. Trying to get this Camping World Truck Series practice rolling here at COTA.
What's going on, Dad?
State Farm commercial. Anything.
Gear has presented, but when you know you're going to get practice, you want to actually get some.
And you know what I love, Andy, is these guys have all been doing iRacing. They've done simulators. How different is it at this place to jump out there in real life after that's all you actually have is simulating?
For me, I'm not a great sim guy. I found a company, SimCraft, right down the road from me in Georgia that's been very patient with my needs to learn this platform, and it is helpful, definitely for getting your rhythm, for your braking, for your downshifting and whatnot. For me, I use it to help me transition from the GT cars that are racing the IMSA WeatherTech Championship into the Xfinity cars, and it kind of helps me just get a slightly smoother, slower rhythm with my downshifts. I'm going from a paddle shift to an H pattern with these Xfinity cars, but as far as getting the actual sight line in and getting the sound and the feel and the vibration and the seat of the pants feel, nothing beats live. Although, man, these kids have been advancing and doing so well on the simulators before they get here.
There's John Hunter Nemechek in that black and yellow number 4 truck as he pulled out to make the pass. And what a season it's been. The 23-year-old Nemechek, he has won a couple times already this season. 7 stage wins. I mean, he has been dominant. In fact, 128 stage points, and that's more than has ever been scored since that statistic was developed in NASCAR through 8 races, and it's been an impressive run.
Murphy has, but look right behind him. That's Camden Murphy in that 11 truck, and John Hunter isn't going anywhere. And we know how fast Nemechek has been all season long. That just shows you how diverse skills, knowing how to road race, gives you a chance to overcome maybe a truck that can outrun you on a mile and a half. And the driver aspect comes in, and he's keeping right up with the hottest guy in the truck.
Yeah, Camden Murphy ran 13th at Daytona on the road course earlier this season. He's in that 11 truck. Spencer Davis Motorsports putting Camden in this week.
I think we're going to see quite a mixed field from what we would normally see on our grids on the ovals. Obviously, we've got a handful of road course racers coming in. I love Camden's story, his background with the monster trucks. It's really cool to see so many different fields coming into play as we show up to Cody here this weekend.
Yeah, you think a guy driving monster trucks from him, he's not exactly going to be the best road racer, but he's hanging in there.
Yeah, that's a good-looking truck right now for the 11. So he's doing a nice job.
Johnny Sauter in that 13 truck, and trying to figure out a way to get around the 23 of Chase Purdy.
I tell you, this is why I love stock cars on road courses. You are never going to see 3 wide in turn 6 with prototypes of GT cars. These guys put the trucks out. We got a caution coming through turn 10 here. That's an overall caution here.
And in that 3 truck is Roger Roos driving for Jordan Anderson this weekend.
Just when you thought you were starting to get a bit of a feel, a good rhythm, making some laps, filling your truck out, caution flies. But I think, Andy, I wonder your opinion, but as long as this track is as many turns as there are, you get a lap around here, you're going to learn a lot about your truck.
You can get a lot of feedback. You might not hit your marks just right. You might not have everything memorized, but you're going to learn a lot about your truck. Like you said, you're going to learn right away, do I have good forward drive off? You're going to learn right away when I get to turn 1, 11, 12, 13, and 15, if that front cuts. You're going to be either hollering on the radio to your crew chief about understeer, or you're going to be hollering on the radio about forward bite. One or the other here is going to be very, very tough to balance these trucks perfectly on a road course where you have such extremes of both high speed and low speed corners.
Just a couple of laps at speed for the 99 of Ben Rhodes. Jamie, what do they think so far?
Well, he's one of the handful of drivers getting very antsy right now. Just wants to get some laps under his belt. 5th on the board right now. He just came in. They made some adjustments to the truck to make it better. But I talked to him before he got in the truck. Remember, he won the one road course we had earlier this year at Daytona. And he said, I've been doing so much iRacing for Circuit of the Americas. I've run an Indy car here. I've run an IMSA car here. You name it. I've tried it just to get that ingrained in my mind. And he said something else that he did. He ran the simulator under wet conditions. He said, I don't think that's something many of us really think to do, but I know that rain's on the radar, so I'm ready to go if it's wet or dry tomorrow.
I am too. I can't wait. Wet rain makes it fun sometimes.
Here's a look at the track map. You know, when it's, when you're not used to the layout, you better, put it right there in front of you just in case. I don't think he's going to have much time to actually look at it, though, during the course of the action. Practice for the Camping World Truck Series at COTA continues after this.
All right. I guess every little piece was in place.
See just ahead, Stuart Friesen. Stuart's road racing skills are solid. Sheldon also, he's got the win on a road course already. So just a fun course to drive, and man, all these elevation changes, the hop of the curbs, whew, it's going to be fun.
The 0-2 is Kaz Grala. will follow Kaz around as well. You know, with the sim and then, you know, the opportunity to study what other vehicles have done here on this race course, how long does it take you on a 20-turn course? How many laps do you need before you feel really comfortable with the layout?
It's going to take a little while. On the sim, you can get a little braver. Obviously, our 83 truck of Brad has gotten fairly brave here on some of the tighter portion of the course. But this is definitely one where the sim lets you get a little braver. This looks like a wheel hop, just downshift to first gear. He looked like he was pretty deep into the corner, and it was a pretty wide entry, but that last downshift there, and to explain a little bit about what wheel hop is for those a little new to the NASCAR road racing scene, you chatter those rear axles on that last downshift.
Coming back to practice at COTA.
Renting always makes sense.
driven by Zane Smith. Get a good lap in.
You can see, Vince, how important rhythm is. When you look at all those corners, one right after the other, as you try to build momentum through the S's, gain some speed, just try to figure out where you are also. I mean, getting in the corners a little bit deep can mess up your whole left process. These guys really need this track time.
MRC, Michael Roberts Construction, on board for the very first time, company out of California. So good to see them on the 21 truck this week.
I like this run here from 11 to 12, just gaining speed, ripping through the gears. Fourth gear, when you get down there, Vince, going from fourth to first, that's a challenge for any driver. I mean, that takes a lot of rhythm as well. Hit your shift perfectly so that you're ready to enter.
Yeah, and going downhill to boot, I think we're going to probably see some miss that corner this weekend.
This is the part of the track that I talked about earlier that makes me a little dizzy. It's just a real tight part of the course, a lot of corners back to back. These drivers learning and feeling how much of those curves they can jump. What is the best way to get into this decreasing radius left-hander that leads to another speed part of this racetrack?
And you'll see him cross a white line coming up here before turn 19, and that's actually for practice purposes. The timing line, that white line right there that he just crossed. And that way, if you want to dive into pit lane, you don't have to take a 3-minute cool down lap. You can just jump right into pit lane and consider it a completed lap.
Last corner, 20, leads on the front straightaway, and then here you see some guys running in line together. An okay thing to do. You want to make sure you're not missing out on anything that maybe somebody a little faster than you is. They're lying. Maybe you can learn something by looking. Tanner Gray riding behind Self there.
And Austin, Texas native, by the way. Austin Wayne Self there in the 22.
How do you think that feels for him? I talked about how excited I was to be here at COTA. This is a home game, and that team's been solid this year, Vince.
Coming off the season best 9th at Darlington, and we mentioned a little while ago, he's just outside the playoff cut line, currently 11th in the standings. There's the 51 for the Kyle Busch Motorsports Group this week, and in the truck is the 20-year-old Parker Chase, making his second start in that 51 this season, and he ran the road course at Daytona, finished 23rd, but he has a road racing background, won his class at IMSA Mid-Ohio race just this past weekend.
Yeah, he was running well at Daytona on the road course, but not as much as we expected. I think we thought we'd see more out of Parker. It'd be interesting he'd get it together here. And you could see Haley Deegan in the black #1 truck. She's able to keep right with these guys, so she's got some road course experience, and she's doing a nice job in this practice. As you see Tanner Gray, the 15, way wide there. As he was trying to work through 19 off the road, was able to get it back in line for turn 20 and run down the front.
Yeah, I think that just gives us an indication, Mike, of these tight corners and how easy they are to misjudge your braking point, which is going to force you past where you want to turn in, and it's also going to open the door for that driver behind you.
Yeah, like we were talking with Andy, you know, the visuals, what you see going up and down hill, getting comfortable with what you're looking at is the first step to being able to tell your crew what kind of adjustment you need on your truck. You got to make sure you're doing everything you can to put the truck in the right position. As you see Timmy Hill working through the S's in that 56 truck. The truck always runs well. It's a new team, Timmy's team, and he does a nice job of bringing a fast truck to the track.
He has done a great job. In fact, this will be his 4th start of the season, and in his 3 previous starts, he's got 2 top 10s. I mean, they do a lot with a little, he and his brother.
Parker Kligerman, just ahead of Tyler Ankrum in that beautiful number 26 truck.
Ankrum is a driver that really needs to get something going. He's 65 points outside the cut line and finds himself in the 14th position in the playoff standings.
You know what I know about that team, though, Vince? They can do just that. And that's why I said it's going to get crowded around that cut line. You put a couple of runs under Tyler Ankrum like they're capable of, that's when a team starts to make some real steady progress toward the playoffs.
Matt Crafton, the 3-time series champ. And you don't think of Matt, you think as a road course guy, but he's had some good results on the road courses?
I think of him as an all-around racer. Champion, obviously.
Great point.
Done this forever, and no matter where you put him, he's going to figure